What?
Hello, Madam Montebre.
Leah's for a second.
Look,
Hi,
there's
friends.
2 people from Mr. Sal's class
And start recording. All right, so we have practiced a couple of times with figurative language where you guys have been given an example of figurative language and you have to identify what type it is between simile, metaphor, and personification. So since we've already practiced that, today what we're going to do is go ahead and you guys are going to find the examples of simile, personification, and metaphor within the Autumn 1934 chapter. So I'll read some of that aloud to you today. And as I'm reading, I might point them out and I might not. You never know. It's kind of just mystery. But let me show you the assignment I added for you. So it's called Figurative Language Part 3. And it's really pretty simple this time. You just need to find 1 to 2 examples of a simile and then quote it. I guess I should have said that, but you'll quote it. So you'll put like the direct quote like I did when I was giving you the examples. Yeah, we get it, Ella. You have a super moist cake. Thank you. And then you'll explain the meaning like you've been doing. Are there any questions about that at this time?
No. Wait, when is it due?
Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
Also,
Yes.
can you post the like the online book of Out of the Dust? Because I can't scroll all the way down because there's so many comments. I can't find it.
Oh, I tried to get rid of some of these. Maybe I didn't. Go to classwork, Julia. And under the Out of the Dust section, it's called Out of the Dust PDF.
Oh, I see it. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. And there's also like a little table of contents. So that tells you like, we're going to read Autumn 1934. That starts on page 86. The pages in this are really different because they're just, okay, so I'm going to go to page 86. There we go. Okay, so our goal is to look for similes, metaphors, and personification. Can someone raise their hand and tell me?
Whose dog is that?
Those are my dogs, sorry.
Oh.
Tell me what a simile is.
I can.
Go ahead, Julia.
A simile is a comparison between two unlike things, and it uses like and as.
Good.
Or as.
Good. Lodi, hush. Okay, what about a metaphor? Peter.
A metaphor is a comparison between 2 unlike things using verbs like is, as, am, are, was, or were.
Very good. And how about personification? Iris.
Giving like human-like features to non-living things.
Good. Lodi,
Jeez,
hush.
they're not even me.
Okay. Hired work. My father hired on. That's weird. My father hired on at Wireless Power on Tuesday, excavating for towers, he said. Does anyone remember what excavating means? Did we do that like a vocab word?
It's like digging.
It's to dig up or just like dig up.
Good.
Just dig up.
So this hired on means that he was hired for that company. He said, "I'm good at digging." And everyone who knows about our hole knows he's telling the truth. He might as well earn a couple of dollars. It doesn't look good for the winter crop. Earning some cash will make him feel better. I don't think he'll drink it up. He hasn't done that since Ma. Hard to believe I once brought money in too, even if it was just a dime now and then for playing piano. Now I can hardly stay in the same room with one, especially Mom. October 1934. Almost rained. It almost rained Saturday. The clouds hung low over the farm. The air felt thick. It smelled like rain. In town, the sidewalks got damp. That was all. November 1934. Those hands. The Wildcats started practice this week. Coach Albright used to say I could play for the team. "You've got what it takes, Billy Joe. Look at the size of those hands," he'd say. "Look how tall." I'd tell him, just because I'm tall doesn't mean I can play basketball or even that I want to. But he'd say I should play anyway. Coach Albright didn't say anything to me about basketball this year. I haven't gotten any shorter. It's because of my hands. My father used to say, "Why not put those hands to good use?" He doesn't say anything about those hands anymore. Only Arlie wanted me to talk about them and how they could play piano again if I would only try. November 1934. Real snow. The dust stopped and it snowed. Real snow. Dreamy Christmas snow. Gentle, nothing blowing, such calm, like after a fever. Wet, clinging to the earth, melting into the dirt, snow. Oh, the grass and the wheat and the cattle and the rabbits, and my father will be happy. Weird. I saw a simile. Did anyone else see a simile? Jojo, you saw a simile?
Yeah, the snow like a fever.
Calm like after a fever.
What?
So they're comparing the calmness of the snow to how calm someone is when they're really sick with a fever, when that fever goes away. It's not the best one, but it's there. Dance review. Vera Wanderdale is putting on a dance review at the Palace, and Arlie asked if I'd play with the Black Mesa Boys. It's hard coming on Christmas, just me and my father, with no ma and no little brother. I don't really feel like doing anything. Still, I told Arlie I would try, just because it looked like it meant a lot to him. He said he'd be dancing then, so he'd need a piano player, and Mad Dog would be singing. And he knew how I'd just love to be connected with anything Mad Dog's doing. The costumes Vera ordered come all the way from the city, she said. Special, the latest cuts. I wish I could go with her to pick them up. During rehearsals, Mad Dog comes off the stage after his number and stands by the piano. He doesn't look at me. He doesn't look at me like I'm a poor motherless thing. He doesn't stare at my deformed hands. He looks at me like I'm someone he knows, someone named Billy Joe Kelby. I'm grateful for that, especially considering how bad I'm playing. Why is she grateful that he's looking at her like she's Billy Joe? Jojo?
Because I forget, I think it might have been in summer, but her dad would always stare at her hands when he walked by, so she would have to put her hands behind her back.
Oh. Mad Dog's tale. Mad Dog is surrounded by girls. They ask him how he got his name. He says, It's not because I'm wild or crazy untamed boy, but because 14 years ago when I was 2, I would bite anything I could catch hold of. My mom, my brother, Doc Rice, even Reverend Bingham. So my father named me Mad Dog, and it stuck. When I got home, I asked my father if he knows Mad Dog's real name. He looks at me like I'm talking in another language. Ma could have told me. This is a really depressing chapter. Art exhibit. We had an art exhibit last week in the basement of the courthouse to benefit the library. Price of admission was 1 book or 10 cents. I paid 10 cents the first time, but they let me in the second and third times for free. That was awful kind, since I didn't have another dime and couldn't bring myself to hand over Ma's book of poetry from the shelf over the piano. It was really something to see the oil paintings, the watercolors, the pastels, and charcoals. They were pictures of the panhandle in the old days, with the grass and groves. There was a painting of a woman getting dressed in a room of curtains, and a drawing of a railroad station with a garden out the front, and a sketch of a little girl holding an enormous cat in her lap. Now, the exhibit's gone. The paintings stored away in spare rooms or locked up where no one can see them. I feel such hunger to see such things and such anger because I can't. December 1934. That one was really short. Why do you think she liked the art exhibit so much? Don't all talk at once. Anybody? Ella? I mean Ellie?
I think she liked the art exhibit along with how it's like more sad that it's gone because nothing in her life is happy.
That's
So
fair.
she was really amazed at drawings, and now she's like sadness.
Mm-hmm. So since the autumn chapter was super short, I think I'm gonna have you guys go into winter. Because it's a lot longer, so we'll read some winter and see if we can find some more examples. Because there weren't a whole lot of figurative language examples in the autumn, apparently. So that's okay, we'll just extend it. I'll read like 3 more, and then I'm gonna leave it to you guys to read the rest, okay? State tests again. Miss Freeland said our grade topped the entire state of Oklahoma on the state tests again. 24 points higher than the state average. Wish I could run home and tell Ma and see her nod and hear her say, I knew you could. It would be enough. Do you remember how she reacted when her mom said, I knew you could earlier in the novel? Does anyone remember what Billy Joe's reaction was? Jojo?
She said that she wanted her mom to say more. Like she wanted her to be more proud, not just say, I knew you could.
And now how is she feeling?
Now she wants her mom to say, I knew you could, because that would be enough for her.
Why is it enough now?
Because she's dead.
Yeah.
Yep. Good job. Christmas dinner without the cranberries. Miss Freeland was my ma at the school Christmas dinner. I thought I'd be the only one without a real ma, but 2 other mother girls came. We served turkey, chestnut dressing, sweet potatoes, and brown gravy. We made it all ourselves, and it came out pretty good. Better than the Christmas dinner I made for my father at home, where we sat at the table, silent, just the 2 of us, eating there without Mom, without the big. It wouldn't have been so bad if I just remembered the cranberry sauce. My father loved Ma's special cranberry sauce, but she never showed me how to make it. January 1935. Driving the cows. Dust piles up like snow across the prairie. Dunes leaning against fences, mountains of dust pushing over barn. Wow, I just saw like 3 figurative language examples. Anybody want to give me one?
Yeah.
Ramona?
It's like there are mountains of it, but there weren't actually mountains. They're just mountains. Looks like mountains.
Yeah, so the metaphor of the dust
pile.
being mountains, that's a
And
metaphor
also,
of mountains
it
of
looks like
mountains of
snow,
dust.
but it wasn't.
What, Ramona?
And also, it was like piles up like snow, but it wasn't snow. It was dust.
Good.
Logan cheers.
Dogs, sorry. What about the dunes leaning against fences? What's that? Joe?
Personification.
Good. Joe De La Flor can't afford to feed his cows. Ooh, do you guys remember this guy? Does anyone remember him? He's the one that had the rail-thin cattle.
Oh.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe De La Flor can't afford to feed his cows, can't afford to sell them. County Agent Dewey comes, takes the cows behind the barn, and shoots them. So that's helpful. Thanks, County Agent. Too hard to watch their lungs clog with dust like our chickens suffocated. Better to let the government take them than suffer the sight of their bony hides sinking down into the earth. Yikes. So were you guys understanding why they shot the cows?
Yeah. Because they're scratching.
What? I don't know. So they're shooting the cows because he can't afford to feed them. But selling them isn't an option either because no one's gonna buy cows. And they don't want to just watch them suffocate in the dust. So they did the humane thing. Joe De La Flor rides the range. Come spring, he'll gather Russian thistles in the plant while it's still green and young, before the prickles form, before it breaks free to tumble across the plant. He gathers thistle to feed what's left of his cattle, his bone-thin cattle. Cattle he drives away from the dried-up Beaver River to where the Cimarron still runs, pushing the herd across the breaks where they might last another week, maybe 2, until it rains. January 1935. Okay, this is the last one I'll read to you, then I want you guys to finish reading Winter, okay? First rain, Sunday night, I stretched my legs in my iron bed under the roof. I placed a wet cloth over my nose to keep from breathing dust, and wiped the grime tracings around my mouth and shiver thinking of moth. I kept company by the sound of my heart drumming, restless, in the tangle of dusty sheets. Sending the sand flying, cursing the grit against my skin, between my teeth, under my lids, swearing I'll leave this forsaken place. I hear the first drops, like the tapping of a stranger, at the door of a dream. The rain changes everything. It strokes the roof, streaking the dusty tin, ponging a concert of rain notes, spilling through gutters, gushing through gullies, soaking into the thirsty earth outside. Monday morning dawns, cloaked in mist. I button into my dress, slip on my sweater, and push my way off the porch, sticking my face into the fog, into the moist skin of the fog. The sound of dripping surrounds me as I walk to town, soaked to my underwear. I can't bear to go through the schoolhouse door. I want only to stand in the rain. Whoa. Monday afternoon, Joe De La Flor brushes mud from his horse. Mr. Kincannon hires my father to pull his olds out of the muck on Route 64. This is a car that he's talking about. And then when the clouds lift, the farmers surveying their fields nod their heads as the frail stalks revive. Everyone, everything, grateful for this moment, free of the weight of dust. That was a good one. That was the first uplifting poem in a while. Okay, so
The star bag.
for Monday,
The star bag.
the goal is to
It's in
finish
the
reading
dining
Winter. I stopped at Haydn P. Nye on page 102 of this PDF. Haydn P. Nye on page 102. Finish reading Winter and finish the figurative language part 3, where you are identifying examples of simile, metaphor, and personification.
Madam Aubrey.
Yeah.
Our printer is not working, so I can't do the sketch notes yet.
You do not have to do them on the template I gave you. If you just have a piece of paper, you can sketch on a piece of paper.
Okay.
Or let's see.
Yeah, that's just what I did.
I know Julia has more experience than I do with Google Drawings, but let's see if we can pull it up.
I did my sketch notes on paper, and then my mom sent pictures of them to you over.
Is it, Julia, is Google Drawings like a Google app?
Yeah, but the way you get to it, you go to Google Drive, and then, well, you can just do it on Google Classroom if you're a student, but you press New, and then you press More, and then there's Google Drawings, and you can, like, make shapes and move them around and draw on it, like, yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
So this is an option. You can just mess around on this. If you want, or you can do it on any piece of paper and have your parent share it to me on Dojo or send it to me in an email. I got a couple questions. Zalika, do we find the figurative language for autumn and winter? Yeah, autumn didn't really have much. So I would finish reading Winter to give you more options. I'll be right back. My baby's awake. Never mind. Okay. Okay. Are there any other questions?
Madam Aubrey,
Yeah.
for you said that for the beginning of autumn to the end of winter.
Yeah.
To read, and then we have to find things that have to do with simile, personification, and metaphor.
That's correct. So originally I thought we could get enough from autumn, but there just weren't enough. So I stopped halfway through winter on the poem called Haydn P. Nye, which is on page 102. So I'll put that in the homework.
Okay.
Let me edit this. And then you'll just figure this out. Or fill this out. So it should be for autumn and winter. Does that make sense? You don't have to draw anything for this.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any sketch notes we need to do? No, there are not.
Oh,
You just have to give an example, 1 to 2 examples of simile, of metaphor, and personification, and then explain what they mean. That's it.
Okay.
And finish reading Winter 1935.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
okay.
I made a schedule. I'm letting the other teachers edit it a little bit just to make sure everybody's classes are on there, every Google Zoom times. So that will be up this afternoon. Right now, my plan is to have 5th grade ELA every Tuesday, Thursday from 11 to 12.
Okay.
Okay? So that's 5th ELA, Tuesday, Thursday, 11 to 12. And if we end early, we end early, but I'm just giving us an hour. But like today, we're going to end any minute.
That's my break time.
Move your schedule around or just wait for the uploaded video. I'll always upload the recording. So if 11 to 12 doesn't work for you because it's your break time or whatever, feel free to watch the video when you scheduled your ELA time. Okay?
Okay.
And then I will have office hours every Friday, 2 to 3:30. Or actually 2 to 3. I'm gonna be an hour. So if you have questions throughout the week and you want to just jump on Zoom real quick and ask me face to face, that'll be Friday. Maya?
Did you upload the last video?
Yes.
Okay,
I
I don't
believe
think.
so. Let's check, shall we?
Yeah, you did.
I'll go through this stream and I'll get rid of this stuff.
Oh yeah, I think you did.
324, is that the last time we met? Yeah. So that's right there. But like I can get rid of these. Okay, you guys good? Okay. All right, guys. That's all I have for you. Have a good weekend, and I will see you Tuesday.
Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
YouTube time.
Boy.